Have you ever really paid attention to what you say to yourself about yourself on a regular basis? In this episode, I'm going to share with you why it is imperative to start paying attention to what you say to yourself, because what you tell your mind believes. I'm Kerry, and I work with soul-centered women who want to awaken their confidence, magnify their impact, and live a life they love. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing. I put out a new video every week that will inspire you to be your very best self. Just take a moment to think about this. If you recorded the things that you say to yourself and you played that back at the end of the day, what are the messages that you would be hearing? Are you hearing positive messages or are you hearing negative messages? Are you saying things to yourself like, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough? Or are you saying, I'm amazing, money comes quickly and easily to me, life is amazing? So what end of the spectrum are you on? And sometimes we may have a combination. Sometimes we may have days that we are very positive and high frequency, and other days we aren't. But just start paying attention to what you are saying to yourself on a regular basis. So Dr. Emoto did a study that was meant to kind of show why what we say to ourselves matters so much. And so he took multiple vials of water, and each of those vials he shared different types of music and words and prayers to. So some of the vials received words of encouragement and positive vibration. I am grateful for you. I love you. You are beautiful. And then other vials of water received negative, kind of low frequency types of words and music and vibrations. You're ugly. I hate you. And he would play kind of hardcore music, whereas on the positive side, he would play Bach and Beethoven. And then what he did was he froze the vials of water and he looked at the vials underneath a microscope. And what he noticed is he actually was able to change the molecular structure of water by saying different types of things to each vial. So in the vials that he said positive types of things to, they became these beautiful, crystalline, symmetrical structures. And in the things that he said negative things to, they became kind of clouded and dark and weren't very beautiful. And so how does this apply to you? This applies to you because over 60% of your body is made up of water. And in fact, over 60% of the planet is made up of water. So it is so important that the things that we tell ourselves and the things that we even say out into the world have a more positive, high vibration frequency to them, because we literally are impacting our internal state of being. And so what we need to start doing, or what would be helpful to start doing, is to start making the unfamiliar familiar. So if we're having a day where we're constantly noticing ourselves saying something negative, like really in a low vibration, beating up on ourselves, being critical of ourselves, it's important to flip those comments upside down and start saying affirmations. Sometimes it's really challenging to go from one end of the spectrum to the other. So for example, let's say you are saying to yourself, I'm not beautiful. It may be challenging to completely switch that to an empowering statement or an affirmation that is, I am beautiful, I am gorgeous. And so maybe find something in the middle. For example, you could say, my eyes are beautiful. But it's important to find something on that spectrum that resonates with your body, that feels good to say. Because if you're going from one end to the other, and as you're saying that statement, you can't connect to that statement at all, it doesn't even resonate at all, it's not gonna start changing your internal environment. It's not gonna stick. And so write those statements down. First of all, just writing helps us to really take it in. And then place them around your house. Place them in places that you can see. so that you can be reminded on a regular basis to continue saying that statement. The more we say it, the more we feel it, the more we resonate with it, the more we start to literally change our internal environment, that we literally start believing it, and then that becomes the familiar. That becomes the go-to statement rather than the negative low frequency statement. So you may be saying in your head, like, I still don't totally get it, Kerry. Like, I still don't completely believe that my words really have an impact on my internal state of being. Like, that doesn't totally go together. So I'm going to give you a hardcore example of how what we tell our mind believes. I have a lemon here, okay? And so I want you to imagine that you also have a lemon in your hand that's cut in half. And I want you to take that lemon and I want you to imagine lifting it up to your nose and smelling the acidic flavor smell of the lemon, and that it's just going down into your nostrils and down into your body, that like luscious smell of a lemon, but has that sort of sharp smell to it. And just even notice what happens in your body when you imagine smelling the lemon. And then I want you to imagine literally putting it up to your mouth and like taking a bite out of this lemon, like having the juices spray into your mouth, and imagine like biting into the flesh. Imagine what that feels like, what that tastes like. And as you do that, just notice what happens in your body. Like, notice if your jaw does something, or like what happens in your mouth. Does your saliva glands start doing anything? What happens for me, because I'm doing it I'm not even putting it in my mouth, is my jaw gets kind of tense because I can imagine the sour taste in my mouth. And even like the back of my eye sockets, I can feel it, and my mouth starts watering. So all of that happens just by using our imagination. So what we tell our mind believes. So it is so imperative, so important to be feeding your mind positive statements about yourself. So important. Does that make sense to you all? So important to be feeding your mind with positive, high vibration statements, because your body is literally taking that in and is having a response to that. So for the next week, I just want you to play around with this. Write down some empowering statements. Take the time to take those limiting beliefs and flip them and write them down on a piece of paper. Place them around your house and place them in your car and places that you can see them, and start trying to practice using those on a daily basis, saying them a number of times over the day. And like, bring in your friends and family to this situation too, because if everybody is paying attention and doing it, it can even shift the energy in your home and your family. And it's just fun to have more people supporting one another to catch each other when they're saying something negative. Like, get some support. It makes it way more fun. Question of the week. So comment below on one limiting belief that you may have, and then what is the rewrite. And I find that if you comment when we write it down and we share it with others, it holds us accountable, it makes it real, and it sticks way better. So take a moment to comment and share with the group what limiting belief you may have, and then what is the empowering statement that goes with that. So if you found value from this episode, please feel free to share it with people around you. And if you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe so that you know what's coming each week. And I will see you on next week's episode.